Chairman,
Senator
I would like to
Blackburn.
call up Amendment SIL 23875.
Senator will please explain her amendment.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This deals with the leak of the Dobbs opinion. And to so many Tennesseans, that was truly a low point of the court. Now, confidentiality and trust of the court, this is something we've talked about a good bit, how important that is to the deliberative process. And Justice Thomas said, when you lose that trust, it changes the institution fundamentally. And that leak really put a spotlight on the efforts of some from the left to push forward their agenda. They went so far as to accuse Justice Alito of leaking the draft. And the American people knew that that was unlikely. The leak didn't just harm public confidence in the court, it literally made the justices targets. A target of assassination, children became targets. No member of the U.S. Senate should be okay with that type targeting of our justices. Now, this amendment is simple. Since it seems that my colleagues on the other side of the aisle are intent on pushing through this effort to delegitimize the Supreme Court, my amendment delays the implementation of this bill until the Dobbs leaker is identified and publicly disclosed. This ought not to be a hard vote. Mr. Chairman, even yourself, in January, you said, and I'm going to quote you, the leak of the majority draft opinion in the Dobbs case was an unacceptable breach of the Supreme Court's confidentiality and trust. So I am going to urge my colleagues to vote yes on this amendment.
Thank you, Senator. This amendment would tie the enactment date of Supreme Court ethics recusal and transparency to the date on which the person who leaked the draft decision in Dobbs is identified and publicly disclosed. I hope we can all agree, as I said earlier, that the leak of the majority draft opinion was unprecedented and an indefensible breach of Supreme Court confidential deliberations. However, I'm disappointed that the Supreme Court's own investigation, ordered by the Chief Justice Roberts, into the breach failed to uncover the source of the leak. I'm especially disappointed the investigation did not include sworn interviews for the justices themselves. They said they've gone to every possible person, but they stopped short of asking for sworn statements by the justices themselves. If anything, this highlights the need for more independent oversight of the court. However, this amendment would do nothing to address this failure, nor address the failure of the crisis of public confidence in the court. We're in a situation, Senator, where you're saying justices who have not given sworn statements can withhold those statements, whether they're implicated or not, go unresolved as to what the source of the leak was, and as long as that's the case, no code of ethics in the Supreme Court. I don't follow your thinking on this, and I oppose this amendment.
Oh, Mr. Chairman, I think that it makes perfect sense that we would withhold this until they come forward with this information. This is something that we want to know. It is something that the American people want to know. So we should hold this bill, and even if it's signed into law, it would not be implemented until we find out who is the leaker and until that issue is resolved.
Question is